Hi, my name's George Jennings. I'm the composer of Black Eyed Theatre's Jane Eyre, which sadly had to close early due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But I'm just going to give you a brief sort of insight into my process of how I came up with the various themes and songs, and answer a few questions. So when you come to first approach writing the music for a show, you need to think about what world we're in, what emotion are we after. And so for Jane Eyre, we're in the mid-1800s in the north of England. And we found this poem called Speak of the North by Charlotte Bronte, which sort of it perfectly works because it's by the writer, so the words are going to be similar to the text of the play. But also, it talks of the North, and we immediately place the audience there. And it talks about the landscape and the wildlife and all that kind of stuff. And it's just very evocative of place and I suppose time as well. And I wanted something for an opening song for the show. I wanted something fairly big, fairly. Well, the opening phrase, Speak of the North, has got a big exclamation mark at the end, so you want something fairly exclamatory. So it's sort of got to rise up. And so I just came up with this sort of opening melody of Speak of the North! And then it sort of starts to move on and sort of flows downwards as we go throughout the song. But then I just put some chords underneath that I felt sounded quite broad and sort of hymnal almost. So it sounds a bit like this. Speak of the North, a lonely moor, silent and dark, and trackless swells the waves of some wild streamlet pour hurriedly through its ferny dells. And that's the opening melody of the show. It's all a cappella, and only with the next part do we get more voices and we get some piano underneath. But yeah, that's the opening of the show. So the beginning of Act 2 I particularly like. The first time we really see Jane with a sense of hope and real calm in her life and happiness as she's preparing for her wedding with Rochester. And for the opening of Act 2, we decided to have a song to bring the audience back into the world. And I suppose it's different from a lot of the other songs because it is really rooted in folk as opposed to maybe something a bit more hymnal, which the other songs tend to evoke. But I just think it's a really nice moment because we have all the actors playing their instruments and singing as well. And it was a moment for me to just write a folk song, which I just really like doing. But it's also got that sense of calm to it. And a little bit of gravitas that surrounds a wedding and a marriage. But I'll just play a bit for you now. Pause in the lane, returning home. 'Tis dusk, it will be still. Pause near the elm, a sacred gloom its breezeless boughs will fill. Look at that soft and golden light high in the unclouded sky. Watch the last bird's belated flight as it flits silent by. And that's my favourite musical moment in the show. So all the lyrics, all the words for the songs from the show are by Charlotte Bronte herself. She wrote about 20 sort of standalone poems that I used throughout the show as the lyrics, as it just felt right to do so, and it's so great that we have the resource of poems to use. But there is a song within the novel that we really wanted to use, which is called "Poor Orphan Child," which sums up Jane perfectly, especially at the beginning of the show. And I think in the novel it's sung by Bessie, and Jane describes it as a doleful ballad, which is a great description and gives the composer a lot to work with. So it goes a bit like this. My feet, they are sore, and my limbs, they are weary. Long is the way, and the mountains are wild. Soon will the twilight close, moonless and dreary, over the path of the poor orphan child. And so, those words just fit with the moment in the show just so perfectly, because they came from the novel itself. Music undoubtedly plays a role in shaping the mood and the emotion of a scene. You can't. It'd be very difficult to get emotionally involved in a very sad moment with sort of this going on in the background, unless you were really trying to juxtapose something. But it just wouldn't work as well. But if you were to put it in say a minor key and slow it down a bit, it'd sound a bit more like that. Maybe that's a bit on the nose, but it would suit the scene a lot better. I suppose within the show, there's a theme used quite often, with some cello often playing the melody, but we often hear this in moments of, I suppose, when it's quite somber. But there's a moment towards the end of the show where Jane is really desperate to get somewhere. She's in a bit of a panic, and so the speed of the piece is actually not dissimilar to that. But what I've done, I've just sped up the rhythm of it to give that sense of urgency, and it sounds like this. I suppose it's just got a completely different feeling, and I suppose helps to inform Jane's inner world, really. As much as I'd like to say something like the Jason Bourne soundtracks, or some of the more recent Thomas Newman James Bond scores, I don't think I'm quite that vibe. So maybe something a little more chilled. So maybe some Van Morrison to soundtrack my life. Maybe some St. Dominic's Preview for a really relaxed vibe. And if you don't know that, definitely give that a listen. It's really, really great, especially for these sort of sunny days. So yeah, some Van Morrison. That's all from me. Thanks for watching. You can find some of my music online on the Black Eyed Theatre Hub. They'll be releasing some tracks over the next few weeks, so make sure you catch those. But in the meantime, stay well, stay safe, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
A cold white waste of snowdrift lies, and one star large and soft and low silently lights the unclouded sky.